Greetings and welcome to online lecture 13 on fluid dynamics. That is the topic laminar flow. This lecture we are going to discuss the laminar flow analysis in a circular pipeline. The flow analysis means how the velocity and shear stress distribute across the cross section when the laminar flow takes place through a circular pipeline. The relevant expressions, that is expression of velocity distribution, expression of shear stress distribution, and expression of pressure drop between two sections of the pipe. This is also called as the expression for steady laminar flow in a circular pipeline. So consider a steady laminar flow in a circular pipeline of two sections, 1 and 2, L distance apart. Let P1 and P2 be the average pressure intensities acting at two sections, 1 and 2 respectively. And let V be the mean velocity of flow fluid, mean velocity of flow of fluid in the pipe. Now, whenever the fluid is flowing through a circular cross section, especially real fluid when it flows through a circular cross section, actually the velocity is not remains uniform because of the viscous effects. The velocity varies across the cross section. So obviously, the velocity near the boundary or the layer adjacent to the boundary possesses zero velocity because the pipe surface it offers resistance to flow. So the generally no slip condition arises at the walls of the pipe. So velocity is zero here, and then it gradually increases as the shear stress effect decreases. It is generally maximum at the center, and then zero at the pipe wall. So in order to calculate this velocity, means velocity is non-uniform. So in order to calculate this velocity distribution, first let us consider a small concentric fluid element of radius small r and distance dx. The forces acting on this fluid element, as this is a viscous flow, and viscous flow, there are generally three forces are considered: pressure force, gravity force, and the viscous force. That we already studied in that first lecture, that is forces acting, forces present in the Navier-Stokes equation. So there are three types of forces considered when the viscous fluid flows through closed conduit. Now, in this particular situation, the pipe section is horizontal. So only two forces are acting on the element. That is pressure force. These are acting at the end faces, and the shear force that is acting at the circumference. The pressure force which are acting at the end faces, that is P is the pressure intensity here, P into pi r square. Pressure force acting on left face, and the pressure force acting on right face is obtained by Taylor's expression. That is this point, this face is at a distance dx from initially. So there is considering the incremental change in pressure intensity. So that f of x plus f dash of x into dx. So this particular term is obtained according to Taylor's expression into pi r square. So these are the pressure quantities or pressure forces acting on end faces. As pressure is a compressive property, thus its action is shown in opposite to each other. Then the shear force, which is generally acting on circumference, because this is due to shearing action. So if tau is the shear stress present here, then tau into circumferential area, that is 2 pi r into dx. So as the entire cross section periphery will be the that symmetry. So the flow of fluid on account of symmetry, its magnitude will be the constant of the whole perimeter. Is tau into 2 pi r dx. So these are the three forces acting on the fluid element. Now we can apply the Newton's second law of motion. So according to Newton's second law of motion, that is summation of all forces that is equal to mass into acceleration. We already studied in dynamics. So dynamics, wherever we come across the dynamic behavior of fluid, we have to apply the Newton's second law of motion. Now, in this case, the flow is steady and the pipe section is also uniform. So the total acceleration remains zero. So summation of all forces we can equating to zero. So there are three forces acting on this fluid element. So we consider the direction of force towards right is positive and towards left is negative. So there is only one positive quantity, that is P into pi r square, and other two are the negative quantities. That we can equate into zero. So that summation of all forces, that is, this is first force, second other two forces are negative, equating to zero. If we simplify this term get cancelled. This simplification we get minus into bracket lambda pi by lambda x into dx by r square minus tau into 2 pi r dx. Now divide both sides by volume pi r square dx, and further simplification and rearranging the term, we can have this relation, that is tau is equal to minus lambda pi by lambda x into r minus 2. So from this, we can say that is from equation 1, it shows that the shear stress tau varies linearly because it only varies with r along the radius of the pipe. At the center of the pipe, if we put r is equal to 0, the shear stress is 0. R is equal to 0 is generally at the center of the pipe. So at the center of the pipe, shear stress is 0. The pipe wall, that is when small r is equal to capital R, the maximum value of shear stress tau is equal to minus double by double x into capital R. The negative sign for pressure gradient indicates a decrease of fluid pressure along the direction of flow. So this is a negative sign of pressure gradient because this particular term is positive because this indicates that pressure decreases along the direction of flow. So P2 is less than P1. That's why gamma P by gamma x is negative. Since the pipe is uniform, the pressure gradient will be constant. This is a constant pressure gradient. So that is negative pressure gradient, we can say. So it is constant. So further, we can simplify minus gamma P by gamma x. That is can also be equal to P1 minus P2 by L. That is equal to P1 minus P2 is nothing but gamma into HF divided by L. So introducing this in equation 1, we can say tau is equal to gamma HF by L into R by T. All this equation. So there are two possible expressions of tau. One in terms of head loss due to friction and one in terms of pressure gradient. So from the equation 1, we can say shear stress, this is a variation of shear stress across the cross section. Any cross section for fully developed laminar flow, we take, and along r direction, that is, as r increases, the value of shear stress increases. But this variation is linear because it is directly proportional to r. This variation is linear and it is maximum at the pipe wall because maximum value will get when r is equal to capital R. This is the variation due to symmetry. The variation is same from both sides from the center. This is tau 2, maximum shear stress. So this is about the shear stress distribution along the cross section of the pipe when the laminar flow takes place. Now we'll move towards the velocity distribution calculation. Now, according to Newton's law of viscosity, because as the flow is laminar, we can write the expression of shear stress in terms of velocity gradient as well. Tau is equal to mu into gamma v by gamma y. Now here, in which v is the velocity of flow at a distance y from the pipe wall. Since in the present case, y is equal to capital R minus small r. So from the center, so y in terms of small r we can write. So here instead of y we can put, or instead of dy we can put minus dr. If we differentiate this y with respect to r, it's minus dr. So putting instead of dy in our equation we have minus mu into gamma v by gamma r. That is equation number 4. Now negative sign in is on the account that mathematically velocity decreases as the radius r increases. So as we move towards the center, sorry, move towards the pipe wall, its velocity decreases. That is the interpretation of this negative sign here. Now substituting the value of tau in from 4 in equation 1, we have equation 1, that is my tau is equal to minus dabba p by dabba x r by 2, and this is equation 4. Now if we simplify this, because we have our aim is to develop expression of velocity distribution. So that is dabba v by dabba r, that is equal to 1 upon mu into dabba v by dabba x into r by 2. This is obviously a small v. It's a printing mistake. Again, because this is a local velocity we have. So the differential, whatever the v is, that is almost small v. So we are calling capital V for the velocity. So, pardon. So this is small v. So dabba v by dabba r, that is equal to 1 upon mu minus that is dabba v by dabba x. Integrating, we have as dabba p by dabba x in y direction must have constant value. Integration is only variable in the integration because dabba p by dabba x doesn't vary along r direction. This is a constant. So only r is the variable. So integrating equation 5, we get small v, that is equal to 1 upon 4 mu, that is r. Integration of r is r square by 2 to 4 mu, 1 upon 4 dabba p by dabba x r square plus c. This equation number C, the constant of integration C can be evaluated from the boundary condition. That when boundary condition, that is the bottom boundary condition, we know because only one boundary condition is required because only one constant is there. So at the bottom, that is at r is equal to capital R, v is equal to 0. We don't know what is the velocity at the center. So that is a finite boundary condition we apply here. When capital small r is equal to capital R, v is equal to 0. Now that means the value of C becomes this. This is 0. So it is minus this term. This small r is equal to capital R. So putting this value in equation 6 and simplifying, we'll get this expression. That is v is equal to 1 upon 4 minus dabba p by dabba x. So intentionally, this minus sign is putting inside the bracket because this term has a positive value. Minus dabba p by dabba x can be written as p1 minus p2 by L. So that's why this is a positive value. That is a negative pressure gradient. So 1 upon 4 mu r square minus r square. So from this, call this equation number 7. So if you see the velocity distribution from this distribution, we can say when the laminar flow through a circular pipes, velocity varies parabolically. This is the equation of parabola. Velocity varies parabolically as shown in figure. So the velocity at the pipe wall is 0 and it varies parabolically at this point, and again its mirror image on this side. So the velocity at the center is a maximum. So this is the expression of local velocity. So local velocity is equal to 1 upon 4 mu minus dabba p by dabba x, capital R square minus small r square. So this way, the first part of almost the objective of the derivation, that is develop an expression of shear stress and velocity distribution when the laminar flow takes place through a circular pipeline of radius r and the distance between two, that is capital L. So when this is only applicable for fully developed laminar flow, steady laminar flow, that velocity varies parabolically across the cross section and shear stress varies linearly across the cross section. Now we will develop the expression of the velocities, that is local. This is the expression of local velocity. So from this we can also calculate the maximum velocity. So if we put r, we can validate here. If we put r is equal to small r is equal to capital R, this becomes 0. So at here the radius is capital R, here radius is capital R. So the velocity becomes 0. And it is maximum when this term is 0. So this term is 0, that is r is equal to 0, that is at the center. So velocity is maximum at the center. The expression of local velocity. Now the maximum velocity Vmax occurs at the axis of the pipe, and that magnitude, if we put r is equal to 0, small r is equal to, so this is the expression of maximum velocity. Call this equation number 8. So if we combine equations 7 and 8, that is the expression of velocity distribution can also be written as, so local velocity if we combine with maximum velocity and rearranging we get, so that term is Vmax minus the remaining term. So is equal to Vmax minus, again we, instead of this term we can put Vmax by r square, and so local velocity we can write again here the printing mistake. So consider this as a local velocity. Only putting the expression of 8 in 7 and 8, if we combine, we arrive to this expression, that is local velocity in terms of maximum velocity. So this kind of expressions are helpful for solving numerical, small numerical, especially maybe in the gate examination, such kind of examples can be asked. If the central velocity is given, how to calculate the, what is the local velocity at small r is equal to particular distance. This is the expression of local velocity in terms of maximum velocity. Call this equation number 9. Then the discharge to the pipe. So for discharge to the pipe, first of all, the discharge passing through a pipe is estimated by considering the discharge through a elemental ring of radius small r and the thickness of the elemental ring, that is dr, as shown in figure. So first we calculate the discharge to the elemental ring, and after integration we can calculate the discharge to entire cross section. So we have for elemental ring, dq is equal to small v into dA, and dA is 2 pi r dr. A is 2 pi r dr, that is dA, that is the cross section of this particular flow passage, that is 2 pi r is the radius and the thickness is dr. So this is the cross section. So v into 2 pi r dr. So putting the value of local velocity here, so local velocity we can put here into 2 pi r dr, and now by integrating we'll get the discharge to the entire pipeline. So q is equal to, after integration, so we take constant out of integration, that is pi into 2 mu gamma p by gamma x, integration 0 to capital R, r square, this bracket term, that is minus into bracket r square minus small r square r dr. And after integration, so that is r square by 2 minus r raised to 4 by 4. And after simplification, we'll arrive to this particular expression. So this expression is nothing but r square by 4. 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. So this is a discharge through the pipe. According to continuity equation, this is discharge to the pipe, that is Q is equal to, in terms of, this is in terms of radius. So instead of radius, we can put d by 2 raised to 4. So this is discharge in terms of diameter. So we do not require this. Generally, we don't use this equation for calculating discharge. So from mean velocity, we can easily calculate the discharge as well. So this is the expression of discharge through the pipe when the flow is laminar. So these expressions are applicable only for laminar flow. Remember, for not for all kind of flow, this is applicable. So from this discharge expression, the mean velocity can also be calculated, because according to continuity equation, Q is equal to area into velocity or mean velocity, because for calculation of discharge, always the mean velocity is considered. So that is equal to Q by A, and Q by pi r square, that I is pi r square is given by. So V is equal to, so only divide Q by pi r square. So pi get cancelled and one r square value, so it remains r square. So this is mean velocity component. So this is in terms of radius, this is in terms of diameter. So the mean velocity is given by this expression. Call this equation number 10. Now combining 8 and 12, that is mean and maximum. So maximum velocity expression we have seen. So that expression, if you combine with this, is exactly half of maximum velocity. So maximum velocity is minus v is equal to 1 upon 16 mu is in terms of r square. In terms of diameter, it is 16 r square. 8 mu is was there. So 8 multiplied by 2. 8 multiplied by 4, that is 30. So if we combine equation 8 and 10, the mean velocity is 1/2 V max. So in case of circular pipe, the maximum mean velocity is exactly half of the maximum velocity. Laminar flow takes place. Again, only applicable for laminar flow. Now, the point where the local velocity is equal to the mean velocity is obtained by equating 9 and 10. So we have a expression of small v in terms of V max, an expression of mean v. So this is expression of local velocity in terms of V max. This is the expression of mean velocity in terms of V max. So in order to calculate the where that mean velocity arises, so we equate local velocity and mean velocity. And after simplifying, we'll get R is equal to 0.707. Exactly from the center, almost at 70% portion, that is 70% when 0.070 R times R, where the local that radius becomes. That means the mean velocity of V occurs at a radial distance from the center, where the local velocity is equal to the, at this particular distance, the local velocity is equal to reaches to the mean velocity. Then finally the Hagen-Poiseuille equation, that is the pressure difference in the laminar flow, that we can calculate by equation number 10, that is the mean velocity expression. So that is V is equal to, equation number 10 is this. This is equation number 10. So here we simplify this equation in order to calculate. So minus double P by double X, that is equal to 32 mu VL mu V by D square. So we rearrange this equation. So the minus double P by double X we take on one side, 32 mu V by D square. So minus double P by double X can also be written as P1 minus P2 by L. That is equal to 32 mu V by D square. Or P1 minus P2, that is equal to 32 mu VL by D square. This is a famous equation which is called as a Hagen-Poiseuille equation for laminar flow in a circular pipeline. So these are the different segment of the derivation. Actually, in earlier syllabus, the entire derivation up to Hagen-Poiseuille equation was asked for 12 marks. But these equations can be asked for in split up. So calculate the expression for velocity distribution, then shear stress distribution to that mean velocity is equal to 1/2 V max. So such kind of intermediate derivations can be asked. But if you know the entire derivation, you can easily attempt the intermediate part as well. So that's it from this particular session. So at the end of this particular session, you will be able to derive an expression of velocity and shear stress distribution for laminar flow through the pipe. Also, the expression of maximum velocity, mean velocity, relation between mean velocity and maximum velocity, that also we can develop. You can also able to develop expression for pressure difference, that is frictional head or frictional head for the laminar flow through pipe. That equation is also called the Hagen-Poiseuille equation. That is the expression of pressure difference, that is P1 minus P2, that is equal to 32 mu VL by d square. Now, one thing you remember, these expressions, whatever the expressions of shear stress, velocities, the relation between mean velocity and maximum velocity, pressure drop relations, these equations are only applicable when a laminar flow takes place through a circular pipeline. And that flow is again a steady laminar flow. It is not even applicable for unsteady flow or developing flow. So when the flow is fully developed, then and then these equations are applicable. And the variation of shear stress and velocity distribution across the cross section, what we have studied, that is shear stress varies linearly with radius and velocity varies parabolically with the radius. Again, this particular variation is applicable for fully developed laminar flow only. So these things are worth noting, because every time, first of all, you have to recognize the type of flow. And if it is laminar flow, then and then these equations are applicable. If the flow is turbulent, because most of the practical occurrences flow are turbulent, then these equations are not at all applicable. Generally, in case of viscous flow, oil flow, where there is a possibility of laminar flow, there we can apply these relations. So with this, we have completed this session. Thank you very much.